This video I'm going to speak about tiny homes. Speak about this documentary that I came across. Basically, this woman was going all over the world and documenting and videotaping people that lived in very tiny homes, like homes that were built very efficient. And these homes are as little as I think maybe as little as 75 square footage, and between 75 square footage to 400 square footage, and how they would be living in very confined spaces, and learning to enjoy the simple life. And these people would be, they would see the value in not enslaving yourself to a mortgage, a high mortgage, where you see it in America a lot, where you got one person that might have a huge ass home that's over 2,000 square footage just for himself, which is ridiculous, what I mean? And then you end up being in hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt for the rest of your life trying to pay off that home. But here you got these tiny homes where they could just pay off the home all at once. The home might be only, 200 square footage, and very practical and efficient for the individual, and then they just pay off the home, easily. Instead of paying $300,000, they pay $11,000. And there'd also be one of the problems would also be the government regulations. It'd be hard to kind of make it legal to live in these small homes. The government would say that certain things would have to be meet certain regulations, but then they would be able to go around some of these laws by finding a loophole. Basically just making the home into a traveling home where they put wheels on the bottom of the home, so then it shows that this is not a set place, that they could actually move it, and then that enabled them to kind of go around that loophole in the law. So I see the benefit of that way of thinking, and they kind of, a lot of them got that inspiration from Japan, and Japan basically got that from meditation, from Zen, and that really originated from India, and then it went to China, and then it went to Japan. And those teachings go along the teachings of Buddha and the whole Zen. And basically, it's just making use of space and being able to live a very simple life. It's basically emphasizing quality over quantity. And it's not just about having a big home, but if you have a small home, you can make good use of that home and good use of that space, and make that space a very comfortable living environment. And I see a huge benefit in it, where you don't have to live your life, for 40, 50 years trying to pay off, your mortgage. You could just pay it off immediately. The home costs less than a car. And then now you have all this free time that you could use to enjoy life. You don't need to work so much. And I feel that there's such a huge benefit to that type of lifestyle, and I really do I very much do promote that. In a way, I've been promoting that since I've established this YouTube channel. And even before I established this YouTube channel, that was what I was promoting, a very simple life. And even to this day, I live a very simple life, and the square footage that I live in is not that much. It's maybe 850, not that much. And with all the kids that me and Jenny have, and me and Jenny living all under one household, we don't have that much space, square footage per person. But we're content with that. We're okay with that, and we're comfortable and happy with that. And I think that, every human being, they can really find a lot of happiness literally with maybe 200 square footage by themselves is good enough. And even like living under 400 square footage or even like is good enough for one human being. And it just makes it so much less that you have to worry about cleaning, and you don't need to work your life away just to pay off a mortgage. And I've had some very bad experiences with homes where I'm buying a home that's, you know, I bought a home, a condo that for 180, and then now it's worth under 60. And I've met a lot of people that bought homes that are like for over 300,000, and now it's only worth like 120. So I see that, the way that things are structured, it kind of sets us up to be slaves. It kind of like forces, in a way they kind of force us to kind of like work our lives away, and then the money goes like nowhere. And I think it'd be such a huge benefit to basically learn, early on that putting yourself in great debt is not a positive thing, and also like having these big homes is not really necessary. I mean, we only really need a place to sleep, and then the rest of the day we can enjoy nature. We could be outdoors and just enjoy like different environments, like coffee shops, bookstores, libraries, malls, um, parks. We don't need to be home all the time. And even if we are home, we could learn to turn our small homes into something like beautiful and something very comfortable and something that we feel at home with. And it's not necessarily that more is always better. A lot of times, it's a huge benefit to get rid of a lot of the junk in our lives. We just have too many things. And like one person literally could have like all these different things, like just so many different clothes, so many different shoes, so many different toys, or all these different things, and having too much is not good. And the documentary is kind of highlighting like the benefits of having less. And I think that's something that we all should be aware of, and how it could really enhance our lives by learning to be happy with less. And it's a very beneficial and positive way of living that I do highly promote. And I mean, if we have, if we're able to obtain more, and we don't have to put much effort towards having more, then hey, we can enjoy that. But I think that a lot of times, we fail to see the positives of having less. And this documentary kind of highlights the positives of, having less, and making good use of a little space. That's a very important thing to learn. And I recommend people to really to think about that. Like how much your life can be enhanced if you got rid of like a lot of the complexities in life, such as like trying to get a big home, or like, spending, thousands of dollars in a car that you can't afford, or just even owning or possessing a car in general. A lot of these big ticket items, we have to really evaluate whether or not it's worth it. I mean, do you really want to live your life 30 years trying to pay off a home when you could just buy like a home that's a lot more simple and pay it off within like 3 years? I mean, I think it's a huge benefit in life when you learn to really appreciate your life when you have to have less, you know, and not always like desire more. You know, just think about it in terms of eating. I mean, everybody, like a lot of people make fun of people that are obese and fat. Well, in that case in particular, it clearly shows that having more is not good. It's completely frowned upon in society. They got more food, they got more fat, they're bigger, but everybody frowns upon them. So in that particular instance, it is clear that having more is not better. In that instance, you know, the society is telling you, don't eat so much. You know, it's better to not eat so much. Because your body's going to look better and you're going to be healthier. So in that specific instance, it's teaching you that less is better. You know, but then if we apply that same concept into like our homes, it can really benefit us. Like having a huge home is not necessarily a good thing. You know, it just makes more things that you have to clean, more things to organize, you know, more things to take care of. Now you got to pay more property taxes. Now you got to pay, you know, more for the home. I mean, there's just a lot of headaches involved with having a huge home, you know. But if you have a home that's not that big, hey, now you won't have to pay as much money. You won't have to pay as much property taxes. It'll be easier to clean, easier to organize. You know, so there is a lot of benefits of like efficiency, practicality, and just utilizing the space that you have and being happy with what you have. So I recommend people to, I do recommend people to watch this documentary, just to get some thoughts going on inside yourself and just kind of apply that concept to the other areas of your life as well. You know, even when it comes to like muscle building. I mean, too much muscle is not good. You know, it slows you down and it's not too comfortable. It makes you feel tight and it's not that good. You know, having muscle is good, but you know, like we need to balance. I think a lot of us, we need to balance our lives, and we live in a society and culture that's always promoting people to like have like really big homes and really nice cars, and I think that we need to step back and evaluate what is really important in our lives. Is the home, are we a slave to the home, or are we a master of that home? Do we own that home, and do we have control of our lives? Do we have free time? Are we able to do what we want to do in life? Or are we just constantly working and never have time for anything because we're so busy trying to pay bills? And that's not really a worthwhile life. So I highly recommend people to watch this documentary, and I'll put the link to the documentary in the description section of this video.